Okay, sit yourself onto your left and then come into a good cross-legged position. So my video's slightly obscured today by the sun. It seems to happen every year. So it's obviously when the sun is in a particular part of the sky. Yeah, this. It's kind of shining directly into the lens, I guess. Only happens for a day or two, so we'll just have to try and handle it. So I'll have to just be extra verbose today. You'll be glad to discover. So just have a little wriggle about, just sit with your seat bones levelly and hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest and take some deep inhalations. To take some deep inhalations, deeper than a typical inhalation, and then allow the out breath to just be soft. Fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, and empty the lungs from the top to the bottom. If there's any reason why you shouldn't hold your breath, just let the breath be deep, but with no holding. Long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Just focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Just looking at something that doesn't move so that your eyes are still in the sockets. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. Lengthen your armpits into your elbows into the heels of your hands, the heels of your hands into the fingertips. And then allow your eyes to gently close. Just continue to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, feeling the energy of the breath. Feeling the energy of the in-breath. Filling the lungs and observing the energy that passes through the lining of the lungs and into the blood. And then the heart pumps that oxygenated blood around the physical body, providing energy to every living cell so that it can perform its function optimally, not optionally, optimally. Gently draw your chin down to meet your chest. spend a little time just generating a sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Sense of physical gratitude for things in your life that bring you positive energy. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area as you release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently raise your head and allow your eyes to gently open and the focus to gently come back. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Consciously draw your shoulders down away from your ears and then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Take a deep inhalation and with an exhalation, drive the chin up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and with the exhalation, draw your chin back down towards the chest. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation and with the following exhalation, raise the chin up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation and then with an exhalation, bring the head back to its level position. Take a deep inhalation and then bring the right shoulder, the right ear over to the right shoulder, keeping the shoulders down away from your ears, just stretching out the left side of your neck. Just draw your chin down to the floor and then move it forwards to the front and then just a little bit up to the ceiling. Just stretching out the neck. Take a deep inhalation. And with the exhalation, come back to the center and then over to the left. Bringing the left ear down towards the left shoulder, but keeping the shoulders down. Breathing evenly. Again, draw the chin towards the floor. Deep inhalation, draw the chin towards the ceiling and then come back to the center. And then come back, bring the head back to the center. Just lift the chest and this time keep the chest looking forwards and then draw the chin over to the right shoulder. So you turn the neck. Take a deep inhalation with the exhalation. Draw the chin across to the left side. And then gently just come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. This time keep your chin directly in line with your chest. Take a deep inhalation And then turn the abdomen and the ribs and the shoulders around to the right side. And then come back to the centre. Just hold on to the knees, lift up into the chest, and then turn to the left. Drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders. And then gently come back to the centre. Just come off your lift and then sit back on your heels. Just sit on your heels, have your knees apart. And then just spend a moment sitting on your heels, just allowing the shin bones to press into the shin skin. Pressing down into the floor, pressing the shin bone into the shin skin into the floor. Lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips. Keeping the head lifted. As you come forward, spreading your fingers, spreading your palms, and finally bring your forehead down. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels, lengthening out the sacrum spine. Lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms. Just press the forehead into the floor. If your head doesn't reach the floor, then use a block between the seat bones and the heels. Or put a block underneath your head. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top. Just come up onto your knees. Turn your toes under. And then be right up on the tiptoes. Bend your knees a little to start off with. And then elevate the tailbone up to the ceiling. If you're doing tadasana, just roll onto the front edge of the seat bones and lift the chest. And then everyone straighten the legs, press the kneecaps through to the backs of the knees. Feel the legs open in 3 dimensions. Press the front of the thigh through to the back of the thigh. Lift the front of the thigh muscle up towards the top of the leg. Broaden the backs of the thighs by turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Lift the seat bones. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Draw the belly button towards the spine to protect the lumbar. And then step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. And then bring some blocks for your hands for half uttanasana. Just have the hands as wide apart as, bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. Oh, sorry, I'm just having to change my, where's my video gone? There you go. Bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. I just had to plug my laptop in there. Stamp the big toes into the floor and stretch the little toes out to the side. Have your hands on your hips and then lift up into the chest. Consciously wing the elbows towards each other. Try and get the thumbs to touch behind the back. Lift up into your chest. Keep your head lifted. Hinge at the hips. Keep pressing into your lumbar spine as you come forwards. And then when you're parallel to the floor, let go of your back and then reach forwards and find the blocks. Make sure that they're just underneath your shoulders. So half uttanasana. Reset the action of your legs. Tighten the kneecaps. Lift the fronts of the thighs upwards. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. And feel that broadness of the backs of the thighs broadening outwards. Project the chin and the chest forwards. Listen to the breath. Get the legs to lift out of the feet into the shins, into the kneecaps, into the thighs, and up into the hips. Lift the seat bones, lift the tailbone, and project the chin and the chest forwards, the cow pose. If you can go down any lower, then do, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. But if you've got a problem back, just listen to your back. Stay high if you need to. Don't overdo it. Lengthen the chin and the chest forwards. Keep the legs high. So by that I mean lift from the front of the shin at the ankle all the way up to the front of the shin to the kneecap lifting up to the thigh bone and the thigh bone sucking up into the hip socket. If you can reach around the backs of your heels, but again be cautious of that if you've got a bad back. Drawing the body through the legs, but keeping the head attentive, keeping the head lifted, not just like hanging down and release it. Keep the front body long. Okay, and then release your hands. Bring your hands into your hips. Bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into standing position. Just come into tadasana. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. So come into tadasana, inner edge of the feet together, spread the toes. Tighten your kneecaps, lift up into the chest. So just listen to the breath. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Bring your arms out nice and wide, spread in the fingers, spread in the palms. And then bring your arms into the chest and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Turn your left toes in and your right leg and foot all the way out, bringing the chest to face the front, keeping the legs really firm, especially that back leg as you reach over and find the shin. Turn the chest up to the ceiling, look up Turn the abdomen up to the ceiling. Feel that the body is in 3 dimensions. Feel that the feet are in line. Have a look down. Make sure that they are. Make sure that the head is in line with the foot. That the buttock bone is squeezing forwards in line with that front heel. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Look up again. If you can, or just look forwards or down if you can't. And then come back to the centre. Swap the feet around, turn the right toes in. And the left leg and foot all the way out. Lift up into the chest. Turn in the legs from the inside out. Keeping that back leg really firm. And then come down into trikonasana on the other side. And then come back to the centre. Bring the feet back together. Just observe that perhaps the sinuses feel clearer. And then step or jump your feet back together. Come back into tadasana and then lift up into the chest. Just allow the breath to settle. Okay, so I want you to grab yourself a chair and have that at the end of your mat. So if you haven't got a chair, you can just use blocks, but a chair is a little bit higher than blocks, so it would be good to have a chair. So this is especially if you've got like kind of a stiff back. So have something. You could always use a sofa or a coffee table or something like that. So just have something that on the right side that you can move towards. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. And then bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest. And then step or jump your feet apart nice and wide. Have your hands on your hips and then turn the left toes in and the right leg and foot all the way out. And then turn the hips to face the chair. So turn the hips all the way around. That requires you to turn the legs, the fronts of the legs inwards, so that the backs of the legs broaden outwards. So pick up the heel of that back leg and turn it out. Turn the fronts of the legs, both legs, turn them inwards, so that you feel the backs of the legs broaden outwards. Bring your hands onto your hips, lift up into your chest, really straightening your legs, especially that back leg, and then hinging at the hips, pressing the thumbs into the lumbar, come forwards, and then reach forwards and find the chair. Just bring the chair underneath your shoulders. So the first stage of parivrtta is to just lift up into the chest, to turn the front thigh inwards, to turn the back thigh inwards, so that the hips are level. So push the fingertips into the chair and then lift up into the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So from here, we're going to go into parivrtta trikonasana. So you're going to bring your left hand over to the right side of the chair. So it's on the little toe side of the right foot. Then bring the other hand into the small of the back. Press the hand into the small of the back. Keep that back leg really straight. And then turn the chest to the right side. Keep the thighs turning inwards, the fronts of the thighs turning inwards, lengthening up into the chest. So this is a real boon for stiff lower back, lift up into the chest. Keep the spine elevated, keep the spine long. Okay, and then just gently release. Just bring the hips back level. And then just bend that front leg, step forwards, and then just come back to the center. So if you can, then you're going to bring your chair over to the other side. Now I realise some of you can't because you're using like coffee tables and things. Oh no, you can, maybe you can. Okay, if you can't, then you have to turn the other way round and do the pose the other way round. So you kind of turn, so you've got your back to the screen perhaps, and then you come forwards, and then you're gonna, so I'm gonna do it that way so that you can just see as I turn. So be in tadasana to start off with, so apologies for having my back to you, but I think you should be able to hear me. Have the inner edge of the feet together, lift up into the chest. Bring your arms out nice and wide, and then step or jump the feet apart, and then turn the, this is my left, your right toes in, and the left leg and foot all the way out. And then pick up that right heel and turn it all the way out. And then straighten the legs. Turn the fronts of the thighs really consciously inwards. Have the hands on the hips, press the thumbs into the lumbar a little. Draw the elbows towards each other. Get those legs really straight. Heels in line. And then hinge at the hips. And then reach down and find the chair. So at this stage, you can just correct the legs if they don't feel like they're in the right place. Heels in line, if possible, and then turn the fronts of the thighs inwards, and then lift up into the chest. Bring your right hand over onto the left hand side of the chair. So it's on the little toe side of the foot. You can be on the heel of the hand. Bring the other hand into the small of the back. Keep turning those legs, and then rotate the chest across that front leg, turning to the left. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Lifting up into the heart area and turning the chest, keeping that back leg straight, keeping that back leg turning. It's easy to lose it, isn't it? And then gently uncoil, and then step the back foot forward, and then come back up into a standing position. Good. Just come down onto your back, and then just bring your feet onto the chair. So you can just do this on the floor if you've got any reason why you don't bring your legs above the body, but just have your legs on the seat of the chair. If your chair's too high and your lower back isn't securely on the floor, then put some blocks underneath your lower back. But otherwise, just press your back into the floor. So you do the cat and the cow action on the floor. So just turning the tailbone in and out, just softening the lumbar into the floor. And then bring your knee in toward your chest, and then bring the foot across the top of the left thigh, and then lengthen that bent right knee away from the body. So it's like a variation of supta kapotasana, the reclining pigeon pose. So again, just finding that space where the lumbar becomes flat on the floor, and then push the lumbar into the floor. And then release that top leg. Bring both legs back onto the chair. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then bring the left leg in the left knee in towards the chest, and then bring that right foot across the top of the left thigh. Sorry, I'm getting my lefts and rights wrong. Bring the left foot over the top of the right thigh, and then draw that left knee away. It's because I had to really think about doing parivrtta trikonasana the wrong way around a moment ago. But it wasn't actually really that wrong. It was just that I had to reorientate my head in the space. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then release that knee, and then just bring the knees back onto the chair. So just resting. If there's a reason why you shouldn't raise your legs above the rest of your body, then just bring your legs back onto the floor. Otherwise, you can just stay on the chair, just resting and pressing along the spine into the floor. And then everyone, bring your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. You might have to just edge the chair away a little bit. Okay, and then just roll onto your side, and then just rest on the right side for a moment. And then straighten out the top leg, come up onto your elbow, and then just sit yourself up. Just move the chair out of the way, and then just come up into a seated position. My watch has run out of batteries. Everything's running out of batteries this morning. Come into cross legs. So sit in, cross legs, hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Lift up into the heart area, just look down at the floor, look at something that isn't moving. If need be, just spend a little time just readjusting the seat bones, readjusting the buttocks on the floor, just to make sure that you're sitting evenly and with levelness. Lift up into the heart area, and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs across and your shoulders across. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Elevate the heart area upwards, take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the left side. Try and get my lefts and rights all over the place. Just turning to the other side, to the left. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then come back to the centre. Okay, so sit yourself on a lift. A couple of blocks is ideal, and then you might need a couple of additional blocks if you've got them. If you haven't got a couple of additional blocks, then maybe you can just Yeah, I mean, you could, in theory, sit directly on the floor for this and have the blocks to the side. That's quite a challenge, though. So, not that there's anything wrong with a challenge, but just sit yourself on your lift. You might not need the blocks at the sides. So it's better to sit on the lift to start off with. Just roll over and move the buttock flesh out to the side. And then have the blocks at the sides if you've got them, and then press the fingers into the floor and lift up into the chest. If you haven't got the blocks at the side, just reach down to the floor and hold onto the floor wherever you can. So turn the legs inwards. Turn the legs inwards, lift up into the heart area. So we can do malasana. So you're going to bend up your right leg and bring it as close to the seat bones as you can. And then you do the same with the left foot. Bring the feet into tadasana, the inner edge of the feet together. The heels as close to the body as you can. And then hold onto your knees and then work to elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down. I often hunch my shoulders in this pose, so I have to be really conscious of lengthening the shoulders away from the ears. And then you're going to reach up and then you're going to propel yourself forwards and see if you can come off the seat bones. If you can't come off the seat bones, then use those additional blocks and then lift yourself off the seat bones. Or you can sit a little higher and then come forwards, lengthening forwards. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, tuck the tailbone in, lengthen the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, shoulders down away from your ears. Lengthening the tailbone down to the floor, lengthening the chin and the chest forward. Smile, soften the breath and breathe. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, lengthening forwards. It's a really nice pose for the lower back. And then just gently, gracefully glide yourself back and then stretch the legs away. And then have the hands on the blocks at the sides, lift up into the chest. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then come into cross legs, hold on to the knees, stay lifted on the seat bones. Elevate the heart area upwards, and then one more time, turn to the right side, digging the back hand firmly into the floor. Come back to the center. Lift it up into the chest and then turn to the left. And then come back to the center. So we're just going to do that one more time. So lengthen the legs away, lift up into the chest, just be in dandasana. So if you prefer, you can just stay in dandasana, just lifting up into the heart area. Otherwise, bring the knees, get into the back of the knees, bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can. If you don't bring your feet close to the seat bones, it's almost impossible to lift because you have to really propel yourself forwards. So bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can. If your heels don't stay down, then you can have a folded blanket and just bring the heels onto there. But otherwise, just see if you can bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can. Hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards. So you have to have your knees wide enough so that you can get your chest through. So if you've got your legs like this, then you're going to get stuck. So have your knees wide enough so you can come through, and then reach up, and then project yourself forwards with your arms. Turn the tailbone in. Try and keep the heels down on the floor. If you're kind of hovering on your toes, try and lengthen the heels back down to the floor. Lengthen the shoulders away from your ears. So Andrew, draw your shoulders away from your ears. Soften your shoulders. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Lengthen the tailbone down to the floor. Project the chin and the chest forwards. Okay, and then just gently guide yourself back, come back into cross legs. Cross your legs the unnatural way. Hold onto your knees. Again, lift up into the chest and then turn one more time to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. And then turn to the left. And then gently come back to the center. Just come off the lift and then come down onto your back and then just have a little roll. Just pull your knees in toward your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on your spine. So you can do setubandha. If there's a reason why you don't bring your body higher than your heart area, then come into supta baddha instead. Or if your back feels tender, then you can do supta baddha instead. Otherwise, pull your knees in towards your chest, not in towards your chest. Pull your feet in towards your seat bones. Push the feet into the floor, lift the tailbone up off the floor, gather the shoulder blades, come right onto the tops of the shoulders, and then bring the brick into the small of the back. And then hold on to the sides of the mat. And keep your legs bent. If there's no problem in your back, you can straighten your legs out, but we're just doing this today just to kind of ease the tension of the lower back, so keep the legs bent. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Fill the lungs consciously from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just listening to the sound of your breath. And just feeling that with bent knees, there's a softness in the spine, which is welcome. So like I say, you can straighten your legs out if you prefer, but it's good to just let the back be soft. So just enjoying this feeling of gentle inversion. So the alternative is supta baddha, so you stay in supta baddha if you're not doing setubandha. So supta baddha is laying on your back with your feet close to the seat bones and the knees falling apart. Feet together, knees apart. In setubandha, the feet are hip width apart, the knees are hip width apart. Try and lift the chest so you're not sinking into the centre of your back. You're coming right onto the tops of the shoulders. Okay, walk your feet a little closer to the block, lift the seat bones, and then adjust your shoulders as you guide your back down onto the floor. And then pull your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then maybe go for happy baby, holding onto the outside edge of your feet. Bring your feet a bit wider apart. And then just have a good rock from side to side. So bringing the feet together just moves down the back. Bringing the feet apart goes up the back a little. So just find the sweet spot. And then release your feet, just release your knees, and then roll onto your side, your right side, and then sit yourself up. And then get your folded blanket for your head. Just make sure that it's well folded. Come down onto your back. Just make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of your mat. You can have a bolster on top of your legs if you want to. We've worked our legs quite hard. Otherwise, just straighten right down the centre of the mat. Make sure you're in a really good straight line. Have the blanket underneath the back of the neck and the head. And then just allow yourself to release into the floor. Let the body become heavy on the ground. Just observe how the body makes connection with the floor. Let the body become heavy and observe that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles and the organs. Bringing fresh energy, healing energy into the muscles and the organs, into the flesh and the skin. And then just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just the further away from your chest you bring the knees, the lower down the back you massage. The closer in towards the chest you bring your knees, the higher up your back you massage. And then gently roll onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Drawing the breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, a good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy and you've given yourself good, positive energy to put into your day. Thank you very much for joining me.